Okay. All right. Welcome everyone. This is Ask the Expert Campus Live. We have the experts today are the ambassadors. So I will go ahead and give some time to them so they can go ahead and introduce themselves. Okay, go ahead.
I'll go first. My name's Lex. I'm from Layton, Utah. This is my third year at Utah Tech. I'm studying biology with an emphasis in like medicine, so biomed. And I'm one of the ambassadors.
Cool, I'll go next. I'm Abby Uzelac. I'm from Centerville, Utah, and I'm a junior studying psychology with a minor in business management. And I'm also working on my entrepreneurship certificate. So the goal is to one day own my own therapy practice. But if you guys have any questions, let me know. Happy to answer them.
All right, guys. My name is Leo. I'm an international student here. I'm from Bolivia. I'm a sophomore and I'm studying finance and physics.
Awesome, thank you. So my name is Sandy Rivera. I am an admissions counselor with Utah Tech. We do have that Q&A function. So if you guys have any questions, you can submit them to that Q&A, and then the ambassadors will answer them, and they will also go through and talk a little bit about Campus Live, what there is, kind of activities and things that are available at our campus. So take it away, guys.
You said they're answering questions right now, is that what you said?
They can ask questions, but you guys, okay. And I'll let you guys know if there's some.
No worries. Really quick, I also forgot to mention while I was introducing myself that I'm in the car right now, obviously. I'm headed up north for some interviews and stuff. So thank you for being patient with me, bearing with me. If there's too much background noise or you can't hear me very well, then just let me know. But yeah, I just kind of want to start off talking about campus involvement, and feel free, Lex and Leo, to jump in with whatever. But first off, I kind of want to talk a little bit about Wednesday activities, because those are always a good time. Why don't we all go around and say our favorite Wednesday activity? Personally, I really love what's called our dive-in movie. They like take drive and do dive instead. But we have an Olympic-sized swimming pool in our brand new building that's called the HPC, or the Human Performance Center. And they just throw a bunch of paddle boards in the pool and they put a movie up on the big screen. And I think they did Jaws one year, which is kind of funny. So good times with that too. But yeah, what about you guys? What are your favorite activities?
I think casino night's pretty cool. With Wednesday activities, it's part of UTSA. So it's like our on-campus student association. So we're a little bit different from them, but they get to throw the things for our current students on our campus. And casino night's fun because everybody gets to come. You get to meet tons of people. They give you like little tickets that you win at each of your tables that you go to. And it's nice because like other students also get to run like the Wednesday activity as well. So like the people that'll be at your table will be students that are like handing you out the cards or something like that. And then they always have really good prizes at the end. So if you're wanting to win something that's at least like beneficial for college, I always say air fryers are the best. So like if you want an air fryer, that's where you want to go. But I'd say casino night's the best.
For me, it's the international events that they do here. For example, did you ever ate octopus from a girl from Japan? I know it sounds crazy. One of our Wednesday activities actually is I think it's I don't remember the name. Damn, that's embarrassing. So a bunch of internationals just start like cooking food, and they cook for you in like a different stands. I usually remember the name for some reason, not today. That's funny. Anyway, so we do that. That's pretty cool. Also, we have like different exchange programs and the study abroad also. I love it. So for example, I know that the English majors, they went to like Greece to study the literature, and I think that's amazing. Also, the people that studied, I think it was dental hygiene, they went to Costa Rica. If I'm not sure, please Lex correct me if I'm wrong. But they went there and cleaned it. So there's a bunch of events going on, and I love it because I don't get involved by my own, so I need someone to like force me to do it. So I love that. It's a perfect excuse.
And talking like more about study abroads, we have tons of them. Like if you want to study like the Spanish language, they go to Spain, or if you wanted to do like population health, it doesn't have to be as specific as dental hygiene. So there's a study abroad in Uganda for population health. There's just all types of things that you can do on our campus, and like along with Wednesday activities and study abroads, we have things called intramurals, and a lot of people don't really like know what those are, but some people do. If you wanted to play sports, but you don't want to play at the level that's like Division 1 or like competing, you want to have a good time with some friends. We offer tons of different sports at our university. Right now, we just got into soccer, and the old women's soccer team, we played last night and they killed us. It was like 18-2, but it was fun. Like you get to still play with your friends. You get to have a good time. You get to go out. Um, yeah, Abby, if you want to talk about some sports that we offer at our university, like the D1 level.
Yeah, so we offer 6 sports and men's sports. Some of my favorites for women's sports, they have like our swim
It
team, which is
might be
really,
kind
really
of.
cool. They're like ranked.
Oh, it sounds a little choppy. It might be a little choppy. So maybe we'll have Leo do this real quick and then come back to you,
Okay.
just in case. Okay, Leo, let's see.
So from what I know, I wish you can look at my body, guys. It looks, I know it sounds weird, but I'm fat, okay? So I don't do any sports. So I just know there's 6 for men, 9 for women, and they're pretty fun. But what like actually like, brings me, because as I said, I'm pretty fat and I don't play any sports. They have like these teams. So for example, people like me that hate looking at skinny people being happy, we get to go and it's like different themes. For example, in like a couple of weeks, there was like a Top Gun. Please, who doesn't like Top Gun? I love Top Gun. So they gave us aviators and like the fake mustaches. And that was pretty fun because I can grow facial hair. So I feel like an adult for once in my whole life. That was amazing. They also have like camos and like neon. So there's no excuse for not attending there. And the whole environment is like insane. Last week we have the basketball game with one of our rivals in school. And it was just like screaming, singing. It's a perfect environment and you just makes you happy. Also, I want to talk about, and with Lex, actually, I want to discuss this. Sorry. Going with the intramurals, for example, I get hurt like a lot. And I love that here we have the resource of the Boot Wellness Center. So every
Mm.
time I get hurt, because as I said, I'm fat, I need someone to like help me and I cover it up. So
Leo. Yeah, the Booth Wellness Center is another thing that we have on campus.
Can you guys hear me better, hopefully?
Yeah, we can. I think so.
Okay.
Keep
Okay,
going.
good. It's so funny. Like Leo will sit here and tell you that he's fat, but he's actually one of the most built guys I know. I see him in the HBC all the time. So don't let him fool you. Yeah, but the HBC is really cool. I want to talk a little bit more about that. Just kind of while we're on the topic, but it's like a big rec building on campus, and we like to say that that building perfectly represents our active learning, active life motto. So it's shaped like a big V, and if you cut it in half, then like the right side is going to be the active life side with pre-physical therapy classes and exercise science classes and that sort of thing. And then the other side is going to be active life, which is going to be the rec side that has our pool. It's got like 3 indoor courts. There's also rooftop courts. So lots of cool things to do along with intramurals like they were talking about. You can totally get involved that way. They have basketball, they have volleyball, lots of fun things to do there. And then they're also going to have a full floor of machine weights and a full floor of free weights. So definitely a great way to get pumped. I see Leo there all the time. So yeah, don't let him lie to you like that.
We have a couple questions, I think, in one of our Q&A, so we'll just go to that real quick. Someone was asking about our outdoor recreation at Utah Tech. They took a tour. It was mentioned I'm very interested in the outdoor clubs at UT, so we can get back into clubs. With clubs, it just takes 4 signatures to start a club. And with our UTSA, they fund those clubs. So you can get funding for that. Say you just want to have pizza at one of your club nights or want to do something like that. You can do that. But like as the aspect of it being outdoor recreation, like whatever club you want to start, if you wanted to do like a climbing club, if you like, I heard a long time ago they used to have a club that went up to Bryan Head and they went snowboarding. So that would be really cool to bring that back to have like a little snowboarding club. It's really whatever you're wanting to do. And then we have another question about our art classes. Architecture and animation for Philip. I don't know a ton about architecture and animation. I know that our art department is probably great with hands-on. I am in photography, but Leo, do you have anything about that?
Yeah, because it's insane. I have a bunch of friends from China and they all do animation. And I didn't knew we were big on animation, but apparently we are. Because again, as you said, Lex, we have the perfect hands-on experience in the drawing wise, like painting wise, but also programming. So if you add programming, painting, your baby is gonna be a beautiful animation. So I know a bunch of people, especially this guy from Romania too. He's my friend. Right now he's enrolled in like a bunch of classes, but the things he does, he gets paid for it because the school again makes you do everything. So then you can sell your skills by your own. I'm not saying the university is gonna hire you. I don't want to misinterpret that. I'm just saying because you have such hands-on experience, you can use everything with potential employers. Make sense?
Yeah. Yes. Thanks, Leo. That was awesome. It looks like we have another question in the chat as well. Somebody says, is it easy to make friends on campus and how do you meet people? I think that's a great question. I think that that's a big concern that a lot of students have going into college. The biggest piece of advice I could give to you is just go to the events. They hold things like almost daily on campus. There's the Wednesday activities every week, and then random like club activities and things. So as you kind of get involved that way, you get to kind of meet your people, understand where you vibe on campus, which is pretty cool. And then along with that, I think it's also important to like make friends with like your roommates and people around you, just fostering those positive relationships, and they can become like your biggest allies. I know roommates can be kind of difficult, but if you can get off to a good start, then you're kind of set for life, which is great.
And like going on to roommates, when you apply onto our on-campus housing, they'll send out a little thing. It's like a questionnaire. You can answer this question saying like, hey, like I don't like to stay up late, or hey, I do like to stay up late. I like to be more talkative. I like people around me that are outgoing, or maybe you're more of an introvert. You like to be inside. Just depends on your vibe as a person. But they let you fill that out, and then they try to match you up with other people that have the same interests, or like same time you want to go to bed. You know what I'm saying? So like the same hobbies, they want to make sure that you're getting with people that you're going to enjoy living with for the next year, because you're not going to want those roommates where it's like you don't want to go home. You want to be able to go home and have a good time. That makes sense.
Yeah,
Just keep answering questions in that Q&A as well. We got you
yeah,
guys.
absolutely. And along with like that roommate question with kind of getting involved and that sort of thing, I would say if you're looking for that typical like freshman college experience, then on-campus housing is definitely the way to go. So like the layout of the rooms kind of really encourages people to get out and kind of interact with other students, which is super awesome. So if you're kind of like looking to meet people, then on campus is definitely a great way to go for that sort of thing. So that's a big piece of advice that I could give to you guys. If you're kind of trying to like find activities on campus, they have sand volleyball, they have pickleball, they have basketball, all right on campus in like the center of the housing units. So there are people out there that are like playing sand volleyball till like 3 a.m, and they're super duper inviting. And that's always a really good time. So I honestly wouldn't be stressed about meeting friends and kind of finding your people as long as you're going to the event.
And it looks like Caitlin, one of our ACs, is sending you guys links in the Q&A or the chat, just the chat. If you want to look at our campus life, there's a link to that. And I think she just barely sent another one about our housing. So if you want to look on our on-campus housing, there's another one you can look at. And then we have another question. What type of after-school things can you do, or what type of after-school things you can do? really whatever. Like, it's not like a set thing that goes on after school. Everybody's schedule is also different. So depending on what your schedule's like, depends on the people you're probably gonna see throughout the day. I feel like a big thing with our university is the HPC with having like a huge swimming pool, there's a hot tub, high dives, to having a rock wall that's 65 feet, to a double-story gym with 2 basketball courts and a MAC court, which is like multi-purpose. And again, those Wednesday activities we talked about earlier. There's always something, if that makes sense. There's never gonna be like, oh, I have to go back to my dorm and there's nothing to do today. You're always gonna have something you can do.
And I also want to get back on that, Lex. Like people like me that is like super active. Like I love like going to the gym, but I'm more like a study guy because I study finance, physics, so I'm a nerd. I like numbers, boom, 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 boom. So my schedule's different. So for example, like after my classes, and this is what I love about the university. There's different clubs of people like, hey, I'm a nerd like you. Let's study together. Let's be friends. So after my classes, after eating, after doing all the non-school related stuff, I study between 3 to 4 hours, depends on the subject and also like the term. Because again, it's everything's on you. For example, right now I'm super crazy with like midterm. I'm having like a bunch of exams. So after finishing my homework, I study. So again, it really depends on you. I think so. I think it depends like person to person. I like Abby, she's like super into wellness. So I think she's gonna have like a different routine than me. So and that's the university, that's being an adult. That's having your time and saying like, hey, what can I do with this? So I hope that answered your question.
And then Leo, how do you manage like with all the stress that you have coming towards you and the classes that you're taking? What's like your management? You know what I'm saying? Like how do you balance school and life and what else you do?
Well, so right now I'm working and I'm also part of the ambassador team. And personally, being part of this program is beautiful. And for all the people is here, I totally recommend you to apply because these 2 guys are the only thing why I'm still here. In the sense that this is my most challenging and crazy semester, but having that so many people is willing to help you to be successful helps you. But also the university is full of resources. For example, you have like a bad English class, we have the writing center, and then I help you step by step to improve your essay. If you're bad at math, math sucks. You go to the e-lab and then I help you to improve your grade too. Or for example, I have an Indian professor and if I have an accent, go to his class. He has an accent, it's horrible. So after his class, I go to my friends and he's like, oh, I took the same class, don't worry, bro. And he gives me the exams and we go to the points. So that's easier, it's less stress because again, in the same point, if you're on a table, if you have 4 people is gonna support that table, you'll be fine. But if it's only you against the world, you're gonna crumble. So what I personally do is surrounding myself with positive energy and having good friends that have the same goals than you, and they're gonna push you instead of pull you.
That was amazing.
Yeah, he popped off with that one for sure. We also have another question that says, I'm choosing between a few schools. What would you say makes Utah Tech stand out? I could totally talk about this all day long. But I like to say like that making the decision of where to go to college can be like really just a big decision and it's really stressful. And there's a lot of little factors that kind of go into it. But if you can break it down into cost, education, and lifestyle, like those big 3 questions, then it can kind of set you up to like make a great choice of where to go to school. So I'll kind of highlight what makes Utah Tech the best in that way. So cost-wise, for the most affordable university in Utah, so you can get an education and not break the bank. So that's really
You might be breaking out
I believe
again,
some of
I'm
you
not
guys are
gonna lie.
out-of-state students. Can you hear me a little better?
Is it breaking out for you too? Okay. I think you're chilling now.
Is that
I'll
better?
just let you know. I'll let you know if it happens again. Yeah, you're good.
Please do. Thank you so much. So just talking about cost, education, and lifestyle. So cost-wise, we're the most affordable 4-year university in Utah. And so I believe some of you guys are out-of-state students, but even for out-of-state students, a lot of the times it's more affordable to go to Utah Tech than somewhere in state. So that's something that's really important to keep in mind. But Along with that, even with getting an affordable education, that doesn't mean that you're like losing out on quality. We have small class sizes. It's like 23 students is our average class size. So I came from a university in or a high school in northern Utah, and there are like 50 kids in every one of my classes, right? And I haven't had more than 30 kids in any of my classes. And that's even with taking a bunch of general courses and things like that. And that's pretty much unheard of at other universities. So you'll get that one-on-one experience with your professors. And that all goes back to active learning, active life. We want you to have like hands-on real experiences in the classroom that allow you to leave prepared rather than just kind of sitting through lectures that whole 4 years. Nobody likes that, right? And then as far as lifestyle goes, if you're going to be living somewhere for 4 years, you may as well consider whether or not you like living in that place, right? So we like St. George is kind of a renowned destination spot. I used to vacation in St. George before I moved down there. So it was so cool that that I'm now able to vacation and go to school at the same time. I feel super blessed to be able to do that. So yeah, we're within minutes of a bunch of state and national parks. So that's a great way to get involved if you like hiking, paddleboarding. They got Sand Hollow, and then Brian Head, like Lex was talking about a little bit earlier. So even if you want to ski and you're like, oh, but it's sunny in St. George, there's still access to that just within a few hours, which is awesome. And then as far as questions goes, feel free to ask any questions just about like life questions, what it's like to be a college student, that sort of thing. Tips and tricks of the trade, we're happy to give them to you. So just let us know.
And
So
before-
something you just asked too. Oh, Leah, you want to go?
I'm so sorry. Yeah, it's super quick.
Okay, go ahead.
So this is something I say on my tours for the people who's like, I'm not sure about Utah Tech. Imagine if someone from Bolivia is here, that's like 5 days flying. It's for a reason. And actually, this helps me to answer the question of the hands-on experience. The main reason why I came here to Utah Tech is because the hands-on. The sad reality, and you can ask your parents, most of the universities, they're gonna feed you with books, learn, boring. But then when you go to the real life, you're like, I don't have a clue what, this is Chinese. I don't know how to do this. Sir, help. And it's the same thing in Bolivia. For example, in my country, when you finish your career, 12 years of studying, you are in debt, you're hungry, you wanna work, they don't let you because you don't have enough experience. So when you go to the real field and you go to real jobs, you don't know what to do, you're clueless. What I love about here in Utah Tech is that if you're studying dancing, you're gonna dance. If you're studying photography, you're gonna take pictures in the first day. So that's amazing because you can be like, hey, I actually like this, or hey, I suck at this, not anymore. And you can do this with every single major. For example, look at me, I'm a finance guy. It's not like I can go and touch money. No, I wish it can work like that. What I can do is they give me different like cases. So I do the ratios, so I do the analysis of the stocks of a company. So that helps me to understand how it goes. For example, right now I'm on a Gmetrics course and on an SQL course. So it's like a bunch of like data using numbers. You feel like a hacker. You feel like I'm the Matrix, and you feel super cool. But that's what you do in the real life. In the real life, you don't do okay Excel. No, you actually go into like thousands and thousands of data. So that's why I choose Utah Tech, because you actually do what you want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of along with that, just talking about active learning experiences in the classroom. If you guys want to drop your majors just in the question or question box or whatever you're thinking about studying, I'm sure we could come up with some active learning experiences to tell you about. But one that I like to highlight in our business department, they have like our accounting senior year students. They do taxes for free for people who make like under a certain income. And so that gives them that experience their senior year. And it's all checked by the professors and stuff. So if you want to get your taxes done for free, you can do that too. But kind of along with that, they also do like a final Shark Tank activity, which again goes back to active learning on campus. And so you can create a product on campus and pitch it to investors in the community while you're a student. We're actually leading in university patents, which is pretty cool. So yeah, our business program pops off if you're planning on going into business. take all of the classes that Chris Brown offers. Write that name down if you're going into business.
All right, and then we have some tips on jobs around campus. So there's a lot. Like if you can't do working during the day, you could work during night as a janitor on our campus. If you can work during the day, we have lots of food options on campus that are always fun. We have a Chick-fil-A on campus. People love that. Any other ones you guys can think of? We do also have athletic trainers in our HPC. That's pretty cool. I feel like that's not really heard of personally. I've never heard of that. But
No,
Leo?
and I also learned that there's so many things. I was going to the engineering department, and they have this program called Inspired. So they grab a you get to do this after like some years. So if you're a freshman, you might don't need this, but in the future you will because this is important. So they grab mathematician, biologist, and engineer, and they work into a real life project with them, and they get paid. So I think that's amazing because, again, entrepreneurship ideas, and it's amazing. I personally, because I'm international, I can only work on campus, but I can assure you there's tons of options. And if you don't have those options, there's different scholarships, for example. Because sometimes
And
people have like, I'm so sorry for cutting you, Lex. For example, even Chick-fil-A, if you work at Chick-fil-A, you have a scholarship on Chick-fil-A. So you can work and also get some school money. And the
Oh.
same thing, yeah.
that's nice. And like other than just jobs, there's a lot of stuff that we do like scholarships based on performance or like stipends. So what we're doing right now as ambassadors, we are full in-state tuition. So that's a scholarship you can get covered for school as well. Or say you have FAFSA, if you guys know what that is, you can stack FAFSA with those scholarships and then get the FAFSA back to you. And that way, that's another way that you have money during the school year. Say you're like, I know, I think Sophia's majoring in biology, wants to be a high school science teacher. I think that's amazing. But like that route is not going to be like the easiest. It's going to be more like rigorous as you're going into biology. And like doing a performance-based scholarship might be the best way for you to go so that you have time to go through and like study and work on your homework and all that stuff, but at the same time get some experience in other areas. You know what I'm saying? So different ways you can think of it.
Yeah. So kind of along with talking about scholarships, they also have departmental scholarships. So maybe you're majoring in like vocal performance or something like that. They have scholarship opportunities within those majors, and that's with most majors. So you just kind of have to hop online and kind of check those out. Yeah, but that can be really, really helpful. And then along with performance-based scholarships like Lex was talking about. And there was also the question, tips and tricks for finding good jobs while at school. A lot of people work while going to school. I would say on-campus jobs are really, really awesome because they're going to be more flexible with your schedule and things like that. So yeah, that's just kind of something to keep in mind. They have like the front desk attendants like they were talking about. We have lots of food places on campus that you can work as well. So just keeping those things in mind.
And then it looks like we have an architecture major and my animation, the biology. We can talk a little bit more about other things that we have on campus, like budgeting. I feel like that's a big thing. You're kind of leaving home. You don't really know, like money is kind of foreign if you think of it, because a lot of kids that are in high school haven't really learned to just budget money. So we do have like meal plans on campus. So if you wanted to do a meal plan, that would be great. There's a couple different ones. I always forget the prices, but I think Leo knows them. Do you remember them? Yeah, it's like one's 800, one's like 12 something, and then it just continues up. I think it's like by $400 increments. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I kind of remember that because, fun fact, that was a requirement for internationals. Like we had to have a meal plan. So I was like, damn, you're giving me scholarship, but I have to buy a meal plan. So not anymore, gladly, because that was a bummer. But yeah, meal plans are important. I'm trying to find the exact number, But yeah, so think meal plan as a debit card. So it's not you're gonna get like a wow crazy discount. No, you're just gonna get like put some money into your ID card, like this one right here, and then you're just gonna debit that and debit and debit and debit. One good thing, you save money from taxes. So that's pretty cool.
I'm kind of
Okay,
adding on
I
to
found it.
what Leo was saying. Sorry, I just dropped my phone. Those are going to be tax free if you choose to get a meal plan. Then anywhere you eat on campus, you don't have to pay tax, which is super duper awesome. That'll kind of save you some coin that way. And along with talking about budgeting, the biggest piece of advice I can give to you guys is just kind of be aware of where your money is going, and create a plan. So if you sit down and you write down like, oh, this is how much I need to spend on tuition and on books, and then you can say, this is how much I have for clothes and for like going out to eat and things like that, groceries, just being aware of those things and having a written down budget, that will really, really help.
And then they put those meal plans also in your guys' chat. But just to overview it, there's 4 of them, A, B, C, and D. It's $8.50, $12.50, $16.50, and $250. So $2,250. And I am pretty sure that those carry over. So if you didn't use it all, you can carry that over into the next like academic year. So like some people put on, say you put 1650 on your freshman year, you might have that carry over until maybe you're a junior. You never know. Just depends on how much I guess you're eating or making food at home or how that works. But yeah. Any more questions you guys have right now?
I actually have a fun story about meal plans. So, for example, I finished my meal plan in a week. So I know.
What one did you have?
I think it was the 851.
Oh, okay, that I feel like that's
So,
reasonable.
well, after the second one was like, damn, I'm fat. 800 right here. But the
No,
funny
it's
thing is
protein,
that
protein.
the senior, like, I saw like this guy, he was like a senior, and he's like doing groceries into like Chick-fil-A. Like, hey, give me 10 sandwiches. Hey, Subway, 20 sandwiches. Because he let the meal plan carry over and carry over and carry over. And he had like 4,000, like $6,000 worth of money that he never used. So he was basically like buying every single thing. Like he bought toilet paper, waters. I was like, damn, that's funny. Because he was carrying everything out. So yeah. I do want to say something super quick though, because for example, you don't have to worry about the deadlines on new plans because again, those stack together. The only thing I would worry about is deadlines on the scholarships, because I know we have one this upcoming. This is March 1st. If you're a resident, right, Lex? No, resident, non-resident, and for transfers are July 1st, right?
Yeah, March 1st, resident, non-resident.
Perfect. So that's super important because we don't accept the scholarships after that deadline. Because you can retake your SAT, you can retake all the scores that you want. We're gonna choose the best one. But if you go past that deadline, that's it. So just take care of that.
And then we had a question about master and graduate programs still use housing. Yes, you can. So if you're going into your master's or your graduate, you still have access to our on-campus housing as well. And then Sophia from Ohio, you missed our Blazer Blast. Good for you. We're having another one, March 24th. You can sign up for that, or if you aren't able to make that one either, and you wanted to come to there's a freshman orientation that happens at the beginning of your year, so the fall of 2023, and that's another way you can do that. And then the meal plans, Philip, no, like the 850 is the price for the A, and then B, C, and D go up a little bit. So not free. That would be nice if they were, but that would
We
be a
do
lot of
have
food.
two things though. We have the come and get. This is something they just implemented and it's so cool. And it's something super funny came today. So it's like a text because again, if you have like a massive event and you buy 100 sandwiches and you're, well, I don't know, 80 just like comes here, you'll have like a bunch of like food missing out. That's gonna be trash. So we are gonna text you if you enroll into like these text messages, and you can go there and get that food for free. We also have the food pantry, and it's a QR code, and it's destined for people like us. Like we're studying, we're paying our own scholarships, we are studying a lot, so we can't have like 4 or 5 jobs and also study because that's crazy. There's people that do it, but that's crazy. Anyway, you go there and we have non-perishable goods. Right now we have a new fridge, so I think we have veggies now and some meat. So that's our like free-ish food option. It was super funny this morning because I came out of my math class and I see a bunch of people running to a building. I was like, huh, I wonder what it is. I go there and it was all the people that went to like the come and get food. And I was like so happy. I was like, huh, that's amazing.
As far as food goes too, I also like to mention that if you're ever struggling to make ends meet, we also have a food pantry on campus in our Browning building. And over there, you can just go and grab some food free of charge, which is really, really awesome. So if you're ever kind of in a pinch and maybe just one of those months, the numbers are not numbering, then we can help you out that way.
And then another thing I think we didn't really study or hit on earlier is study like habits. So how do you learn how to study? I know we talked a little bit about like study groups, and then Leo talked a little bit about how he like manages his time. But like how you learn your habits is kind of difficult. Personally, for me, I had to do the opposite of whatever I wanted to do. So like the hard thing was sitting down and reading a textbook. I hate to read, and reading a textbook is like I'm never going to want to do that, and I'm never going to do it. But I learned how to do it. And another big one is if you get tired in class or you feel like you're just not going to be there mentally or you're just not going to focus, record your teacher lecturing. I promise you can totally do that. And then listen back to that recording and type notes again. It happens all the time. There you go. Leo has it recorded right there. I promise you it's probably one of the best things because at the same time, there's little things maybe teachers hit on you forget about. That way you have a recording, you can go over that recording multiple times and then make a really good like study sheet from that. Or sometimes teachers do like a PowerPoint. You never know. But doing the thing that you really don't want to do is what I would say personally. What do you guys think?
I think that's college. Like, and I'm so sorry, I feel so bad. There's stuff that I hate. I hate reading, just like you, Lex. That's why went to like math, because numbers are just like, give me a equation and I can look at that equation for hours and be happy. But if you give me one essay, I'm gonna be depressed and sad. But there's stuff you have to do. The good thing is that you're not alone. As I said, there's like a bunch of like resources, and I record my classes. Most of the teachers record the Zoom classes, so you get the presentation too. And also talk with your professor. We have a ratio of 23:1 students. So your professor really gets to know you. So you can ask him like, hey, I know we have an exam next week. There's something I should take care of. I told that to my marketing professor. He told me, yeah, focus a bunch of selling and the formulas. And then on the exam, there was a bunch of formulas and selling, and I crushed it because I was aware of. So talk to your professor, let him know you, and that's gonna be great for your grades, I promise.
Okay, and then Sophia asked a question about what do you recommend when you're coming to the university as a bio major for UT software? Recommendations, you can use anything really. Going into biology, I'd recommend getting an iPad actually. And there's this app called Good Notes you can download. And it's a really easy way you can track everything. If you have that iPad and you have the app, you can also record on that app. So everything can be in one spot. I use Good Notes, and then that way you just have a pencil. That's the electronic pencil that you use for Apple, and everything's in one spot. There's another one called Notability. That one's really great too. But the big one I would say honestly is an iPad. I use an iPad more than I use a laptop. But for your labs, so like chemistry labs and biology labs, you'll have to do a lot of plotting like data or like sometimes you're testing what way a pill bug will go on different soils and general biology classes. And that's all just data based, like time versus something else. I don't even remember, but it was a good time. But it's all data. So I guess learn how to use Excel, have a computer that can run Excel, Word, just the general ones. But personally, I have a Apple computer. What do you guys use as the other ambassadors? What do you guys prefer, I guess?
I also have a MacBook, which has been great just for like writing papers and things like that. But I was almost a business major. I almost majored in accounting. And if you're doing anything in the business realm, I would recommend getting like a PC over a Mac, just because it's easier to turn things in. It's easier to connect with like Excel and things like that, and like have the software that you need. So that's a big piece of advice that I would give to you. And then kind of while we're on the topic of, oh, I just forgot what I was going to say, but yeah.
It's okay, that happens. I do that all the time.
Also, I
Leo?
want to say, oh, I'm so sorry.
No, I was gonna
I
call
don't
you
know
out
what's going on
anyway.
today. We're just like, thank you. Anyway, for example, when I came here, I just came here with my cell phone because I traveled 5 days on my own. So it's just like a backpack of me, just like a novel, just like a romantic movie, a backpack of me. That was it. So when I came here, I was like, oh my God, I need Excel, I need Microsoft, I'm screwed. But no, here we have 160 computers in just one of our buildings that are free for students. And we offer Microsoft 360. So that means the OneDrive, Word, PowerPoint, anything Microsoft related is free for students. So really don't worry about the software, because also don't rush and like buy every single thing. Wait until your professor gives you the material. So for example, I have the same professor, my Indian professor. We have a book that's $200 and something, and he never uses the book. Like all the exam is lecture based. So then I save myself $200 because I'll have to buy a book that I'm not gonna use. That I'm just gonna use for 4 months, and that's it. So just buy what you actually need. I think that's a good advice.
Yeah, I would agree with Leo as far as that goes. I just barely bought my MacBook, and I have been at school for like over 2 years now. And so it hasn't been a problem for me to just be able to use stuff on campus. And I'd say it's actually helpful that way, just because then you get like a two-year newer laptop or whatever, you know. And then that way that you're getting what you're going to need for your classes. And then I also remembered what I was going to say earlier. So something that's important to know is that the tuition is the same for however many credits you're taking if you're full-time. So if you're taking 12 credits or 20 credits, those are all going to be the same price tuition-wise. So it's really nice because you can add on all of these extracurricular classes like volleyball classes and anything in our HBC. Kundalini yoga is a really fun one. Paddleboard yoga, that sort of thing. You can add those on, and it's going to be at the same cost as it would be if you were taking 12 credits full time, which is really, really awesome. Along with that, you can also just like stack up your schedule with the courses you need to complete your major and get done quicker.
And then also kind of wanting to hit on our university and how it's expanding. We are building Campus View 3 right now. We just barely started tearing everything down. We're building a new one. And that will have an on-campus grocery store in the building on the first floor. So another addition. So that's going to be just over 1,500 beds, which is nice. But I also think that our female housing has already filled up. The male housing still have spots as of last I know. And then we're also looking into a new general education building. That's not as soon as everything as the Campus View 3, but we are looking into that. And then as well with that, we're also looking into a new student center. So like our cafeteria and all of that. So just some things you guys can expect when you're coming to our university in the future. Hopefully it's all exciting. Hopefully you guys are excited to be there. Any more questions? We got you guys. Let us know. So far, you guys have been killing it, to be honest, answering a lot or asking a lot. But yeah, Leo, you like playing volleyball?
Tonight, volleyball?
No, do you like to play volleyball?
No, because I feel this thing moving and I feel fat and insecure. I don't do that.
Every time. Leo,
I
you're
know.
strong. You got to remember that. Abby, do you like
I'm
to
a
play
sand,
volleyball?
yeah, I'm a sand volleyball girly for
I
sure.
was gonna
But
say
they,
that's like a big thing here in St. George.
100%.
Thinkable.
They gotta put me like in the libero position though, because when you're 5'2", you can't really
Get the
jump.
spikes down. That's okay.
Yeah, the vertical, it's brutal.
That's okay. Again, like with activities, like if you guys have never been to San Hollow, I'd say go ahead and visit there because that's a really fun one, especially with the college kids. I know people get scared, but cliff jumping, like that's always fun with a group of friends. You got to be safe, of course, but it's a big thing about St. George. And then the beach as well. If you happen to make a friend that has a boat, it's always fun to go out there. We had a couple of friends down here that I met when I was like a freshman, sophomore, and they used to take us out and do surfing all the time. So that was fun when I first got down here. Sometimes on San Hollow, you'll see like volleyball like tournaments just set up, and I've gone up to it, and you can just like join in and play like all day. If you've ever snowboarded, there's a thing called sandboarding down there, so that's a lot of fun. I've never tried that, but I've always wanted to try it. And it looks like we do have a question about prerequisites for a program. I want to go into what I'm missing 2 or 3 classes. Is it possible to start the program itself while taking the prereqs for the class? No, you need to get all your prereqs done, and then you can apply for the program and then start. That would be sick if you could do that though, just to get it going. But that's just how that's how all universities are. You got to finish your prerequisites and then apply. And then based on how competitive your application is, bases on if you're getting in or not. So good question though. Anything else you guys are thinking?
I think you make me remember with the whole activities outdoors. So we have something called the ORAC here, and it's super affordable, like exploring things, like camping things for students. I would hate my roommate having a canoe here right beside me. That's gonna be pretty annoying because I couldn't sleep. I already can't. He's a football player. I can't sleep already. So plus a canoe, I would be dying. So if he wants to go swimming, well, not swimming, canoeing, is that's a word, I guess. If not, it's a word now. If you want to do that, you can totally do that. You just go there. Hey, I'm a student here. You get to. There's no excuse for like not knowing something here, because again, this company is full of resources, and I used to call the fishing pole the fishing king, but you can also rent those, and that's pretty cool. Fishing, who doesn't like fishing? And I think that's also one of the most valuable resources here on campus. And again, I just want to touch a little bit here. I make jokes like I'm fat, but just know here, like no one's gonna judge you. For example, in our gym, we have personal trainers. So I know like if you're like out of shape, there's people there that work on the HPC and they want to ask you your goals. Hey, I want to lose weight, I want to look skinnier, I want to grow biceps, whatever, and then help you to achieve those goals. And also, I think it's a vitamin D, but like everyone here is St. George, they're nice. No matter what you do, what you say, they'll be like, hey, what's up? There's no problem. Just keep going and keep going. So really, everything's super reassuring here. And I think that's a point that people need to know, that no one's going to judge you and there's always a second chance.
Yeah, I would totally agree. Thanks for sharing that, Leo. As far as information goes, I know we threw a lot of things at you guys today, but just to kind of keep it simple, if you remember anything from what we've been talking about today, remember cost, education, and lifestyle. So cost, most affordable four-year university in Utah. Education, active learning, active life, small class sizes. And lifestyle, St. George, Utah, lots of fun things to do on and off campus. And then there's kind of a cheesy little quote that I always kind of like to leave students with. And it says the only person you're destined to become is the person you decide to be. So that's a really big piece of advice when going into college, because if you sit in your
wanna
dorm all
repeat
day
that one more
and eat.
time.
Oh, so sorry. Can you hear me better
No,
now?
it's okay. Yeah, repeat the quote.
Okay, yeah.
I
So
barely
that
heard it.
quote, no worries. The quote, it says, the only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. And it's kind of a cheesy one, but I think it's really applicable to college students. I would say the biggest piece of advice I could give to you guys is get involved. And like if you sit in your dorm room all day and eat ramen, you're gonna have a great college experience. But if you choose to go out and be involved, then you're gonna feel connected to the campus. You're gonna feel welcome and involved, which is really, really awesome. So you just have to decide to make those goals on going to college, because nobody's gonna do it for you. You're kind of on your own, and now you have the opportunity to kind of like make those decisions for yourself. So just kind of being aware of your habits can really help shape your college experience.
I agree. I feel like when I first came to college, I wasn't really involved in the university. My freshman year, I definitely wasn't involved in the university. I kind of just hung out with some friends that I met. But as I continued to get more into like, first it was like going to the basketball games and being a part of the Stampede, which is our student section. And they give out a lot of free stuff at the student section, so go to those. It's a lot of fun. Um, after that, I kind of got more friends that I knew on campus that were involved. So going to that, I got like more acclimated to that side of like the university. And then going into my sophomore year, I met other people that were part of like different programs on campus. And as all this is happening, my grades are going up, which is interesting. And it's just like the groups that you're hanging out with, who you're around, what they're focused on. I know everybody comes in freshman year and it's a whole lot of fun, but try to focus on school just as much as you're focusing on your social life. Try to get a good balance. Because as you go on to your sophomore, junior, senior year, that school is going to continue to get harder and it's going to need more of your focus. So a good balance is something good to start off with so you can succeed throughout everything. But yeah,
I just want to add on that. I totally agree with Avi. My first time coming here in the university, I was like super like a shy guy, and Lex is gonna back me up on that because Lex is one of the first person like I ever spoke to. I wasn't the machine. I was like, "Hey, are you using that?" Because I was scared. People is scary, and I used to be super antisocial and like people. I don't like it. I used to hate like speaking in public. But then I came here to university. I went to different events. I became part of like this amazing program, and now my job is basically speaking. I'm speaking, and I love it. They've helped me to like break that shyness shell and be myself, and that's one of the most beautiful feelings that I think any human can experience, feeling like themselves. So everything's gonna change you. Just let it change you.
Leo has come a long way from when I first met him. I'm very proud of him. He's killing it now.
Yeah, I would also say another piece of advice is kind of to step out of like the fear-based mentality, like, oh, I'm scared of what people might think of me if I'm like at this event and that sort of thing. Like, I think that's definitely easier said than done. But when it comes down to it, like we're all just out here like doing the same thing, trying to get through college. Everyone's having these same feelings of like, I want to be involved, I want to have friends, that sort of thing. So just don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Nobody's going to judge you. You're definitely your own worst critic. So don't be afraid to just get involved and like act on things that you're passionate about. If there's a goal that you have, like just do it. Don't be afraid. So
And we're pretty open. So like if you see us on campus, we're right in the front of Holland. Come say hi, come say what's up. You know us three now at least. Even if you guys didn't talk too much or ask a lot of questions, you know our faces, you know that we're part of the university. So come say what's up. We're cool. We're really chill people. We like to have a good time. So yeah. Hopefully this was good information.
yeah, bars, retweet, Lex. Come say hi to us.
All right, seems like there's no more questions, I will go ahead and share the information for our next Ask the Expert again. For those of you that want to go ahead and scan that QR code, that way you guys can register for our next event, which is next week. So here is that information. We're going to be talking about registration, so you can just go ahead and scan that QR code and get registered for that next Ask the Expert webinar, which is next week. And I think we're coming to an end of our webinar today. I don't see any more questions.
Also, feel free to share that QR code with some friends if you have people who are interested in going to college. Just encourage them to come check us out, see what we're about. Cool, thanks, guys.
And thanks, Sandy, for putting this on for all of us. This was great. Hopefully they got a lot of good information.
I want to thank you guys. Thank you so much for helping us with this Ask the Expert event. Thank you, the ambassadors, and thanks to everyone that participated and joined us today. You guys have a wonderful night. Thank you.
We will see you guys soon in the fall, hopefully.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
See.